there, fellow YouTubers, model builders, and ship geeks. This is I, your good friend Commodore Urban here, with a very special model review for you. I don't know why I haven't done it yet here, and frankly, I don't know why I haven't, but I'm going to finally do it for you today. And it's a model kit that I've been wanting for a very long time, and when I've learned about it, I've been trying to get it for years upon years, and finally last year, for my 24th birthday, I was surprised with it, and it was really kind of neat. That it's a really cool surprise. So, and it's also a model of one of my favorite passenger ships too. So that's another cool thing about it. And it's Glencoe's 1/400 scale model of the SS United States. As you can see here on the box, it says SS United States. It's got this big giant image of the ship, this beautiful image of the ship on here. And on the box it says made in the USA, 1/400 scale, and at the corner here it says Glencoe model. And now on the side of the box it says history in the making. It's got a picture of the model of the ship, and it's got kind of a bit of a brief history. If you want to pause it and read it, you can. I don't care, but that's that. And then it's got a picture of the ship on this side, the same image, and it says the name of the ship and stuff and the model. And then there's that side of the box, which tells the name of the ship and all that whatnot. So it's a pretty large box, just like my Glencoe SS France box. That's about the same size. And what I thought was really kind of cool is that included with the kit was this little sheet of paper, which kind of gives you a kind of a little detailed summary of the history of this great ship. And also here on the back, there's also a little brief history on the model of the kit, which is kind of cool too, you know. So it says here, history of this kit. It says the molds which make this kit of the SS United States were made by the Idea Toy Company in 1954. Now, when Idea Toy Company made the model of the ship, they made two different versions. They made one that was a solid, all of it was solid white plastic that you had to paint and assemble. And the other one, everything was all pre-painted and pre-colored, and you just had to assemble it together, and it came with a light that you stuck up inside the ship, and you plugged into the wall, and the ship would light up. And if you can find one of the kits still in the original box, never been opened or anything, those go for buku bucks, but they're quite nice. I've not seen one by myself, but I wouldn't mind having one out of my SS United States collection. And it says here, this was one of ITC's first plastic model kits. Before that, all their model kits, they were all wood, balsa wood kits. It came with many parts such as the stacks in the hull pre-painted, like I've said. It also was provided with an interior light to illuminate the ship, which I've also just said. The same day that the real SS United States was being auctioned, which was back in the early 1990s when she was being auctioned off before she went over to Turkey, Glencoe Models was saving this original kit from the scrapyard. It has since undergone its own restoration, only that the base mold cannot be restored. In its place, a wooden base has been provided. See, that's the only difference between the Glencoe model and the ITC model, is that the ITC model had this real elaborate, ornate plastic base that had a little plate that told the name of the ship and all the different little, the statistics about the ship, and which is really nice. I mean, you can find them online, but they go for, like I said, buku bucks. But instead of its place, it comes with a basic wood base like so. But this base is really special because I had a friend of mine engrave this into it in loving memory of Kevin L. Richards, and that is my father. He had recently passed away just last year, just shortly before my birthday, so that was kind of a sad thing. And so I built this model in honor and tribute to him, because I actually told him about this model and trying to find it and stuff, and he said, well, if you ever find it and build it, I would love to see it, son. And sadly, he never got to, but I bet he probably has. So, but the instructions for this model is basic. It's a very basic one sheet. As you can see, it's just one sheet instructions, tells you how to put the top of it together. And on the back, it shows you how to paint and put the decals on. But if you're like me, you studied the SS United States for years, then you kind of basically know how the ship looks. So, I mean, this kind of gives a little bit of an idea, but this is a little bit better. And here in the corner, it says they left the screw placements, and the reason why it says, any large single-piece hull is ideal for conversion into motorization or radio control. Easy accessibility is necessary for either conversion. For that reason, we left the original screw positions on the ship. So if you're going to turn this model into an RC, you can. Which, in fact, I didn't. But it does float in the water, but I didn't turn it to an RC, so it doesn't really matter. So I decided, I figured I'd read that a little bit there to you. And so now I'm finally going to show you the finished product. Oh, this thing's heavy. Right here it is, right here. It's huge. I'll have to pull it back a little bit so you can see it. This is it right here. It's a pretty good sized model. It's about, let me see if I can find out. It's 28 inches in length overall from bow to stern. See? There's the bow of the ship. Oh, that looks good at that angle right there. There's the starboard side. There's her two awesome looking funnels. There's the stern of the liner. And finally, there's the port side. I'll kind of show the, kind of try to bring it in so you can see some of the details a little bit. I went all out on this thing and I detailed it from end to end. And a brief history on the history of this great ship. Her keel was laid February 8th of 1950 in Shipway number 10 in Newport News Shipbuilding and Dry Dock Company. She was designed by the legendary William Francis Gibbs of Gibbs and Cox. She has a dual-purpose role, also as an ocean liner, but she could be converted into a troop ship in case of war, and that's why for years this part of the ship, the underbottom, was a top secret. Even though when this model was made, the bottom of it was made, and if you look at the bottom of the real ship versus the model company basically nailed it. This is how she was shaped. If you look here though, you see this part here. This underbottom of the ship, this part here, this was what was secret about the ship, was the stern section, this flat keel and stuff. That's what was the secret part of it, that and this bulbous bow here, this bulbous shaped bow. That was another design secret of hers. But what really was secret about the United States was that she had a total of 8 Babcocks and Wilcox boilers that were made by Babcock and Wilcox in Cleveland, Ohio, and 4 of the most powerful steam turbines ever installed into a ship. The same kind of turbines that were designed for the Iowa-class battle, for the same kind of turbines that would have been designed for a destroyer-type turbines, because the boilers are the same kind of boilers that were designed for the Iowa-class battleships. So and also from this deck all the way to the funnels and the mast, the upper portion of her was made completely out of aluminum, which made her very lightweight. Instead of like 80 some odd thousand gross tons like the Queen Mary and Queen Elizabeth, the United States was only 53,330 gross tons. So she was very lightweight, and at the same time she was really one hell of a fast lady. And so on her maiden voyage from New York to Southampton, which started July 3rd, 1952 at noon when she left Pier 86 in New York Harbor, she dashed across the Atlantic at an unprecedented 3 days, 12 hours, and 12 minutes, which she shattered the Queen Mary's record by over 10 hours. And, she won the blue ribbon of the Atlantic, which is this little blue pennant flag, which I have right here. And on her return crossing from, Southampton to New York, she done it again. She broke a record of 3 days, 10 hours, and 40 minutes. So, and that's why she was known as, and still is known today, as the world's fastest ocean liner. Now, from 1952 to 1969, she was the pride of the American merchant marine and the pride of the United States lines. And she carried everybody from the most humble tourist class passenger to the most famous celebrity in first class. And when she was decommissioned in 1969 because the evil jet planes and the rising cost of fuel oil, she burned a real thick, crude stuff that was bunker C type fuel, which was kind of really expensive. She was laid up in Newport News, and later she was moved to Norfolk, Virginia, at the NIT terminal, and she was there throughout the 80s up until the 90s when she was moved again to an old coal pier in Newport News. But around that time, though, there was an auction in 1984 of all of her fittings from Guernseys that, they sold everything out of the ship, and then when she went overseas in the 90s, they gutted the rest of her out in the Ukraine, the asbestos. She was loaded with asbestos being a fireproof ship, and asbestos being, linked to mesothelioma, lung cancer and stuff. They completely gutted her out, completely bare and stuff, and then they took her to Turkey for refurbishing to a cruise ship, but it never happened. So then she was towed back over here to Philadelphia in 1996, and she's been at Pier 82 down in the Delaware River ever since. And a lot of people have seen this ship and comparing pictures of her back in the day until today. I mean she's a sad sight. And there's been a lot of people. The first Norwegian cruise line says they're going to convert her to a jump. Sorry. First, the Norwegian cruise line says they're going to convert her to a cruise ship, and it didn't happen. And then the latest one was I forget the name of the cruise line, but some kind of Crystal Cruises. That's what it was. Said they were going to restore the ship and put her back to service, but then that fell through, and so now the United States Conservancy, which is the current owners of the ship, they're afraid that the ship's going to get scrapped if they don't get enough money. And so I'm hoping that they raise enough money to save this great lady, because I actually would like to take a trip to Philadelphia and board this beautiful lady and see her for myself. And so as for putability of the model, the painting of the model, I give it a 5 because, multiple parts of the ship was white plastic, gray plastic, and black plastic, the hull being black. And also the model and the putability, I give it about a 5 too, because some of it was easy, but then this big giant top section, that was really hard to put on there. So overall, I will give this model a 10 just because, it's a Glencoe model. These are kind of hard to get a hold of, and it's also my favorite ship. That's why I give it a 10. So then again, this is my review of the SS United States by Glencoe. And I really hope you enjoyed this video as much as I have enjoyed talking about my favorite lady with you. And if you like the video, please hit the like button. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave them down in the comment section below, and I'll definitely would love to read them, and I might get back to you. And if you love my channel, please hit the subscribe button, would you please? And you'll see all kinds of more fun stuff. And until next time, this is Commodore Urban here saying, have fair skies and clear seas, and happy sailing to you.